2-0 Argentina, but they've had to work at it.
Well, they do have a benefit from a quick start early. 3-3 coming into this match. If they do lose, Uruguay, even though they drew against Paraguay, might be the big loser. The Charrúa would move one spot above them in the table. Of course, that depends on what happens if Chile, also starting the round tied with 12 points, what they do on the road in Peru. That match following this right here on beIN Sports. We are nearing the final stretch, not quite the final furlong yet, but the thoroughbreds are starting to feel it. Ezequiel Garay could probably afford a few thoroughbreds.
We were talking at half-time about this player is Gonzalo Higuaín, Phil, and the lack of respect he gets both at club level and international level so many of the times. Higuaín, younger than Lionel Messi, and nowhere near the type of footballer, but just as impressive. The top goal scorer as well, Higuaín, in the South American World Cup qualifiers right now. Always shows up, wonderful dispatch man, always inviting with his runs, his energy, his industry, his touch and his ruthlessness. He misses sometimes, for sure, but they still love him. As he had enough to do at the other end, Romero in the Argentina nets really hasn't been tested too much. And we'll see if Cesar Farias has sent out the Vino Tinto with a little bit more daring once they get, because hey, they were opened up by the artful dodger Lionel Messi with touches of pure magic. But other than them, the defense have been holding out well. And at the other end for Venezuela, though, I don't feel as if they've had enough teeth at the top of their head, and the spear of the front of their spear just not being sharp enough. I'd like to see Rondon a lot more mobile and working harder for the inviting passes in. Good player, Rondon. Ruben Kazan, man, he has the ability, but he's been starved of anything.
Lavezzi giving chase. Hernández out and clears it away. The other one who's been practically invisible is the captain on Fernando Arango.
That's true. You're right, Phil. He's been very much kept in the shadows by this vibrant Argentina midfield. And of course, when you have Messi dropping back into the midfield, along with Gago and Mascherano and Montillo showing up really decently, there's all sorts of problems to contain.
And got to consider this Venezuela team did beat Argentina first time out in this qualifying round.
Ball by Gago.
Finished fourth in the last Copa America.
Lovely.
Back from Lavezzi. Messi at the 18. Messi spins. Messi chips it, and it's off the chest of Hernández.
It all started with the lovely little ball from Gago that Messi really appreciates, and the supporting run from Lavezzi to draw the defender away from him. Here Lavezzi plays it back into Messi with eyes in the backs of his head, and there's that goalkeeper again, Dani Hernández, the Valladolid man, a one-man battleship on the lane, keeping the scoreline down. They're all coming in support to Messi, but he always wriggles free.
From the corner to the back post, Higuaín was there. They'll swing around and try it again. Venezuela's biggest defeat at the hands of Argentina, coming back in '75. That was the Menotti era with Kempes, Luque, and the like. Launched into the six, diving header clears. They lost 11-0 in the Copa America of '75. Several world champions on the field, including the legendary Oswaldo Ardiles on that day.
Well, that was the dawn, basically, for Venezuelan football. They've come a long, long way since then. They really have. And as I said earlier, exporting the players overseas, all playing for big clubs now. And still in this fight for Brazil. despite this result here, if it does stand.
Sending it wide, trying to turn it in. Belcher. Looks a little different with the haircut. See what he can do from the corner flag. Up steps Túñez. Túñez. Strong in the air. 26-year-old from Celta. It's Arango. The left foot slapped away. Romero. Almost by intent. A pass off the fists.
He could have claimed it very easily. Not taking any chances. Strangely well played.
Hernández.
Lovely. Nice football.
Now can they do it across the chalk? Under Zabaleta, it's a different Argentina. A lot more focused on winning the ball in the midfield. Here's Zabaleta.
For Reed. He doesn't mind that either. Good time, sliding tackle, coming across beautifully. Yes, diving right across there. Excuse me, Rondon.
3,200 miles separates the capitals of these two countries, but it didn't stop 5,000 Vino Tinto fans from making the trek. A bit silent
amazing.
now.
That is absolutely incredible, Phil.
One end of the continent to the other.
It is absolutely wonderful support for a country that hasn't got passionate support a lot of the times in football. Baseball takes priority in much of the cases, but for that many to travel that far for supporting Rondon's men, just fabulous support, truly exceptional.
Ball to the running Chichero, settles well, but he left the door open for Zabaleta. And he better watch out. He's carrying a yellow for that handball in the box. You might still argue it wasn't, but that's old news. Strong in the back.
Magic again.
Young Rojo, still just 23.
Yeah.
They've been looking for a left back in many ways since the days of Sorin. Didn't get off to a great start. It seems to be the choice for Sabella. More comfortable every game. Hanging out to dry on that one, though. Arango wants it. Gonzalez might have something else in mind for Rondon.
It's that type of run that they need, and that is unlucky. Rondon makes a hard, hurtful run. He's nicely shepherded in the end by Federico Fernández, but that type of run was what was required in the first half, a lot more. Get supplied those types of passes from this midfield of Venezuela. But the midfield needs him to hit those holes in the back of Argentina. Didn't get anything out of it in the end, but again, the threat was much better.
Messi again. Laid back through Mascherano, wide for Rojo. Far cry from 2010. Of course, it was even closer than it appeared. Argentina slotted through, but offside against Lavezzi.
Another diamond pass here. Again, the possession is patient and looking very impotent up until right here. And that is very, very close. But what a dagger ball.
If he clipped his toenails, he might have been onside. Argentina beating Uruguay on the final match day by a single goal. And that's how they finished above Uruguay in that fourth spot and not in the play-in. Remember, they were close to being forced into a play-in game for South Africa. Venezuela were held in their final match. Many thought it was going to be a relatively easy win. Brazil had already clinched a spot, but
magic.
Chance now again.
Good ball.
Sent wide for Montillo, chipping it up, but deflected enough. You're going to say it went through cleanly for the goal kick. Good play, Gago.
Great ball here. It settles nicely for Montillo. He goes for the expressive hit into the goal, but Higuaín again peeling away from his defender beautifully and not getting more service.
Launching it long, Hernández. The patience to wait.
The amount of runs Gonzalo Higuaín makes away from his defenders, time and time and time again, and probably 7 times out of 10 the attempt to find him isn't made, but he keeps on making those runs.
Chance inside, looking to cut into the lead, but shepherded away. Right, if Venezuela had somehow been able to edge an already top of the table Brazil, they could have beaten Uruguay for that final playoff spot and taken on Costa Rica for a ticket to South Africa. Under pressure, Romero, but looks calm and cool.
Well won.
2-0 Argentina. The score holds. That match against Colombia at home becomes very important, though. Gago wide for Rojo. Launching it almost to Higuaín. Chichiro got enough of it. Zabaleta looks wizened. He is wise, but he's only 28. Rifled in and gratefully gathered by Hernández.
Lovely instinctive smack from the Santos man. Well, they cannot resist this one. Settles up nicely on a golf tee, and he absolutely pulls his driver out, but it's directly at Hernández. He was hoping for a little bit more height so that he would get that dip over the top of the keeper, but not to be.
It's one of those uncovered by Zabaleta. Still awaiting his first Albiceleste goal. Played in the Super Clásicos against Brazil. You saw that on beIN Sport. And then the friendly against Sweden.
It's a good ball.
A chance. Needed to find Felcher. Settles. Lost underneath him.
Rondon was unlucky not to control that a little cleaner. A beautiful ball from Arango to find him.
Another chance here, loose in the area. Back for Chichiro, but he sends it high with his right.
Well played, Venezuela. Again, Arango at the start of it. Sends a searching ball into the box here. And there's a lovely touch with the header. Battles away. And pulls this one out.
It's the end result.
Yeah, the early opportunity I thought was even closer for Venezuela. And again, Rondon a lot more lively in this second half as Sejas makes his exit.
Romulo Otero checking in, the 20-year-old out of Caracas, where he plays in his hometown. The midfielder making his national team debut. And all he's got to do is come from 2 down against Argentina. Ray, talk about that last one again. Hopefully we get the chance to see it. If Rondon controls it first time, he could have passed to Felcher, who would have been in one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, a lot more mobile and active now, Rondon. As I said in the first half, that's what they needed. He is a leader, and mobility just lacking in the first half, but they're finding him better now.
Right in front of the referee. That won't make Zabaleta happy.
He gets stranded. It's not his fault, Higuaín. It's a good lift of the line of the Vino Tinto. Well, you're going on about that run that they head towards South Africa, Phil, and you just missed out by 2 measly points, and they'll be in this all the way down the line. As you said, you've got another tough battle against Colombia. The way Colombia has been playing, Cesar Farias knows that's going to be another acid test. But I tell you what, Colombia better watch out.
Approaching the hour mark, Higuaín breaks in, tucks it into the corner, and it's going to count. 3-0 Argentina.
It's Messi again. It's Messi with his fingerprints all over. And they give him the big hug. The service doesn't get any better from Mercedes-Benz. Absolutely phenomenal. Messi. Again, the run of Higuaín is wonderful. The run dictates the pass. And take a look at this split millimeter perfection from Lionel. How does he see this? Look at that run. Arguably offside. Certainly, my opinion, offside. No appeal made. Messi can't help it. Look at this, dancing through, and then he's still running at and pulls out this incredible pass, and what a kiss home. Lays it on the silver altar, and Gonzalo literally kisses it home with his big right foot. And wonderful goal, but it looked offside.
The kid from Brest right now drawing Messi to his chest. 2 assists for his 8th and 9th goals of qualifying. And Ray, we were talking at the half, as you pointed out, half a year younger than Messi. Everyone talks about how much Messi has done in such a short period of time, but they say Higuaín hasn't done enough. He's leading South America in qualifying. He's a perennial goal-scoring leader in Spain, and he's just not loved.
He's always battling to win over his critics. Gonzalo, the ex-River Plate man, of course, and wonderful run. And what about Messi with that incredible peel away from 2 defenders to get that space, and then the acceleration away from those 2 players, and then on the run to pick a diamond pass out like that, Phil. That's why he's the greatest footballer player on planet Earth. I've been saying it for so long. It's his greatest underrated attribute, his passing. And you talk about the statistics of his goal scoring at the international level and the club level for his Barcelona, but his passes are out of the book of genius, and it undervalues him.
In many ways, you could say the same about Maradona. People talk about the dribbling and the goals, but the way he was able to set up the likes of Caniggia and Batistuta and Crespo later. But Messi, in many ways, you think about players that rely on speed. What are they going to do when they slow down? With Messi, he's still got the vision and the touch. He might be more dangerous.
Well, good performance. Is it Gago that's coming out?
Ever Banega, who replaced him at Boca,
yeah,
and at Valencia to a point.
Smiling face, had a good game. Gago winning good battles as well, covering the ground. Messi loves playing alongside Gago. He said it publicly. It's his type of player, the ex-Boca Juniors man.
Ever Banega can play that role, but as we've seen, also very good pushing forward into a playmaker himself, as though Venezuela needed another one of those for the opposition. Banega, Zabaleta tries to drive through off the deflection. On the turn, Rondon, a long way to go.
Magic.
Jose Rondon, and the touch over the bar. A golden opportunity, Otero, in his debut.
Well, it's outstanding play by Salomon Rondon. They cannot keep up with him, but look at this. Wonderful disguise, drops the shoulder, and then this magisterial pullback from Otero. Should have been put away. Here's another look at the goal. Messi leaves his defenders in acid again. And look at this pass from the bird's nest view. Astonishing. Sees his run, he lays it, curls it around, sends it invitingly. Again, it's perfect passing. It doesn't need controlling, just needs kissing home. Unlucky at the other end, though. Truly unlucky. Otero missing a gilt-edged chance. Fabulously created by Rondon.
Ray, talk about how young Messi is. Ever Banega even younger. Angel Di Maria younger. Backline Rojo and Fernández. I mean, we're seeing a potential dynasty. Everyone's saying he's got to win one. And I hate to count the World Cup chickens, but if they figure out how to win one, it might not be the last. Rondon again gets the edge on Zabaleta, holds him off.
Again, tremendous pace, hard, hurtful runs by Salomon. Missing in action the first half. The second half has been a different proposition. This is more like it. Great dexterity of his feet, big lad, the Ruben Kazan hitman, a handful.
Vizcarrondo, so dangerous. Arango launches it, lofts it more likely. Túñez couldn't get it. Passing it into their own area. Mascherano just plays it safely. Again, it's still difficult for Venezuela on Tuesday. They'll have the nightcap against Colombia. Next round coming in June. It's Bolivia, but it's in La Paz. And then at home against an Uruguay squad that might just be desperately needing a victory at that point.
Yeah, tough road. Tough road for Venezuela. They've got themselves in the fight, right in the middle, in the meat of that race. Oh, it's not beyond them at all. But as you say, Phil, we're up against the creme de la creme in a lot of ways, and teams that are really hungry. Next up, Colombia.
Of course, Argentina's next game in La Paz, which has been a disastrous place at times. Lunging tackle, but Garay does well. It'll be a throw-in for Venezuela.
Not as much a tackle as a clearance. A poor ball played into Garay.
Hernández, brave.
Oh, confident.
Out wide, Vizcarrondo. He'll settle for the throw. After the match in La Paz in June, a mouth-watering showdown. They say already it will be in Rosario. Kind of wonder if that's maybe to give Lionel Messi a bit more incentive as Falcao and Colombia come to town, and then on the road at Atahualpa to take on Ecuador. So again, not easy for Argentina either. The frustration building, biting his lip a bit. The youngster's debut. A lot to ask at the age of 20. Midway through the second half. Almost like clockwork. The 29th, 45th, and 59th. Victor Carrillo with emphasis.
Yeah, giving his whistle a work out there.
Yeah, give Argentina credit. Sometimes you almost expect it, but this is the team that finished 4th in the last Copa America. Starting to show some signs of life. Zabaleta, good play. Rondon. Now Otero. One touch too many. Strong step in Banega. Messi harassed by Chichiro. The centennial game. He's been involved in all three, setting up the first and third and scoring the middle from the spot. Said he'd love to meet the Pope. If he keeps this up, they might even get a chance to exchange jerseys. Throw in for Venezuela. Chichiro couldn't bring it down. Boy, another sign of things have changed since 2010. In the qualifying for South Africa, Uruguay finished 5th for that play-in spot with 24 points. If this score holds, Argentina would have 23 with 6 games remaining. Into the center, Banega. Taking the pot off the fire just a bit. Mascherano. Looking for Messi. His Barca mate. Chichiro. The announced defender. Upended. Quickly in. Arango trying to build the pace, but the young Otero had his pocket picked. 20 minutes remain. Maybe prophetic from the band in the stands. And again, maybe a bit early. Messi eludes one tackle, hops over Vizcarrondo. Poor touch Montillo. Mascherano almost wins it back. Far side, Gonzalez. Rincon. Rincon said he would be eating the heels of Messi in this match. Well, might have given him a black eye, but he's been eating dust. Lavezzi a little quieter in the second half, more support role. Higuaín's been drawing the spotlight.
Been a wonderful understanding threaded through this Argentina team, and Sabella's got to be extremely pleased. So strong at the back, and midfield's been beautifully balanced. The magic man has been on song and inspiring his crowd, and of course Gonzalo and the hard working Lavezzi have been in wonderful support. Masche pulling the strings beautifully. All the pieces in the jigsaw for the Albiceleste falling beautifully into place.
Higuaín on a hat trick if he can get it. And again, you talk about it, you know there's players still fighting with a 3-0 lead for a throw-in. There are players in a battle for a golden boot who would be looking for goal themselves. Messi just sets up Higuaín with 2.
As a gentleman covering his mouth when he coughs.
A famous 60 Minutes interview, Messi just basically saying he just wants to go out, have fun, and win. And he does that more than most.
Yeah. The piranhas here.
That black eye, piranhas might even be scared. Here's Chichiro wide. Needed a better service. Rondon with the defender on his back. Never had a chance. Banega. Messi. Zabaleta. Might even have the Russia 2018 World Cup in his future. Zabaleta. Wonderful shape. Banega opens up. Fernández spots him. Strong run, Lavezzi. Instead, Higuaín. Banega. Never one to shy away. Messi.
Mascherano knows how to find him.
With
Good
backspin.
ball.
Caressed by Higuaín. Zabaleta. Game of keep away with Banega.
Yeah. The Serbia-Montenegro game back in 06 World Cup where they were playing like this. 36 passes before they hit the back of the net. Argentina, they can do it that way. Death by 1,000 passes.
Guarantee you Esteban Cambiaso's enjoying this one as well. 75th minute. Line pass to Messi. Laid off nicely. The shot sails high. Why not have a go?
Yeah, learn his place a little bit. You don't do that. You don't rush it that way. He's disappointed with himself. Walter Montillo.
And this
construction again for Argentina's approach. They don't mind keeping it for another dozen passes before attempting to strike towards goal, but it's usually not more accurate than that, as a wonderful Juan Arango leaves. Not one of his great performances, but certainly pulled out some beautiful passes over distance.
Cesar Gonzalez will check in. Right, not really throwing in the towel. I think if anything, bowing to the reality, he'll have more impact against Colombia.
Yeah, well said, Phil. And how much of a difference would the Athletic Bilbao man Fernando Amabieta have as well in this team? A high quality footballer, would have lent something to them, that's for sure. And of course the other missing in action is Roberto Rosales, as you said. Two pedigree footballers that will be back. I'm not so sure if they'll be back against Colombia.
Montero, sweet, but so worried about the move, he dribbles it out of play. Unless you're supposed to disappear, he was headed in the right direction. The yellow for delay. Cesar Gonzalez, the 30-year-old veteran, his 49th appearance, hoping Colombia would be 50.
Mascherano, wonderful there again.
Strong from Lavezzi, he'll get it. Ezequiel might have been there, maybe not. The defense came.
Not on the score sheet or being involved in the goals, Lavezzi, but you know, he's had a real decent game. Lovely movement from him, and he's been heavily involved in several great opportunities for Argentina in a threatening way. Dynamic player.
Ray, what was that Bill Shankly line? Only 2 or 3 maestros and a few guys to move it. That is one of the situations when you get an Aguero out there, perhaps.
Carlos Tevez, and they are piano carriers, that's for sure. It's a question for Sabella to finish the job and find places for these players, but almost impossible when you've got the world-class quality that Argentina have up front.
Touched inside to Messi.
Brilliant.
Threaded.
Superb.
Lavezzi wide. Back for Messi. He somersaults in midair, but can't turn it to goal.
Lavezzi magical on the give, go and get with Messi, and then Leo tries to contort himself. Beautiful ball.
Let's try it again, but poked away by the youngster Gonzalez.
Unless Messi absolutely, literally turns himself inside out, which wouldn't be a pretty sight. Look at this attempt to get the ball. Scorpion kick. Well, it was a wonderful effort to put the finishing touch, but some things are even impossible for Leo.
Right, here's another forward we haven't been talking about, but who has been in fine form. Rodrigo Palacio getting set to check in, the divine rat tail. Another complimentary forward. Sabella knows that anyone who gets in the way of Messi might not be the best.
No, you're so right, Phil. This lad coming in has been in tremendous form for Inter Milan, and a wonderful player in his own right, a truly talented, high-quality footballer.
Wide for Chichiro. Too hard on the cutback. Banega. Zabaleta. Intercepted. Good cover on the retreat by Chichiro. Bundled over, play on, says Carrillo.
If we won from Lavezzi.
Now Messi. Eludes the challenge of Túñez. Runs past Rondon, who's playing defense. Just can't sneak it through the eye of the needle. Another sub, the final one, getting set for Venezuela, and it's Nico Fedor checking in, but first it's going to be Higuaín, who will exit with 2 goals to his name.
Wonderful applause for Gonzalo as he makes his exit after dynamiting Venezuela. 2 wonderful goals, both little dagger touches, but instinctively knowing the geometry of the penalty box, in his wonderful timing in this knowledgeable country, tips its big hat to Higuaín's 2-goal performance.
Higuaín topping the table with 9 goals now. Miku waiting for his turn to enter. 10 minutes remain.
Nicely again.
Through.
Good play.
Gonzalez, it's loose.
Oh.
Otero denied.
Again.
Beautiful stop by Romero.
Poor Otero. His right foot again, letting himself down so badly after a brilliant invention from Salomon Rondon. Take a look again. Nice ball to find Rondon. Now look at this. Beautiful quickness. The pass back is tremendous. He could have had a play to Payet before pulling the trigger. He hits it first time. It's a rash finish. Poor guy. Poor Otero. You've got to feel sorry for him, Phil. 2 horrific misses.
Romero, his brother, former college basketball player. That time had to get down rather than up. Romero makes the stop. And Otero on his debut could have scored 2 against Argentina. I guess it's just like those fishing tails, the ones that got away.
Yeah, I'm sure that Cesar Farias will be thinking about fishing tails when he gets him in the locker room.
Maybe the hook. Gonzalez. Goal kick.
Credit Otero for arriving late in support of Rondon, knowing that the big guy can find him.
Good call, Mascherano just scraping it over the boots, and Gonzalez, he's going to be a special one. Just 20. He's already got a dozen caps and playing in Switzerland. But will he blossom in time for Brazil? Looks like Miku has come in. Is it for Rondon? Current Celtic, former Getafe man. Gonzalez bumped by Lavezzi, who bumps right back. "18 straight games with a goal in La Liga for Messi, and on his 100th game for Argentina, he nets and sets up 2 more.
Yes, under the pressure of the world, where every time he steps onto the field, the eyes of the world are watching, and the hearts of his country are put in his hands, and he always lives up to it.
Palacio tried to elude the challenge but couldn't.
Good tackle.
31 years of age, might be his last chance for a World Cup. Lavezzi, in his 22nd cap, did the hard work filling in for the injured Agüero.
Top applause again for the Paris Saint-Germain man. Full smiles. Hard worker. Way more than industry though. Quickness and bravery inside of the box and celebrating what looks like a certain victory for his team.
Maxi Rodriguez replacing Pocho, launching it in. Messi from the corner. Maxi almost seems like not just a different era but a different encyclopedia, but still loaded with talent. Another yellow card coming out against Miku. Maxi, 32 years of age and back in Argentina where Messi started at Newell's. On an angle, Messi, Palacio to the center, and Vizcarrondo clears. Montero, Banega, Venezuela ball. Even Cesar Gonzalez seemed a bit surprised by the call. Under pressure. Of course, as we head towards Brazil 2014, you know, Brazil trying to erase the memories of 1950. The Maracanazo. Well, now there's only one. Uruguay's backup keeper on the day, Aníbal Paz, passing away at the age of 96. So only the goal scorer, Alcides Guixia, still alive from that great Charrua side. And those ghosts still haunting Maracanã, even if it's been torn down and rebuilt. Dummied, blasted, but off target. No chance for Rincon. In many ways, remember that Venezuela game to start out qualifying back in 2011. People were already calling for Zabaleta to be dismissed. I mean, that was embarrassing in Argentine minds. Since then, and again, if they hold on here, which is all but certain, they will have won 6 and drawn just 2.
Well, it's certainly looking good for Argentina to boot their place to an 11th consecutive World Cup. That's the way to do it. They had in every competition except 1934, 38, which they withdrew from, and failed to qualify in 1970.
16 out of 19, pretty good average. Venezuela would take it, still looking for their first. Maxi rolling it back. Got to be a special treat for him. '88th minute underway.
Well, certainly a bridge too far here tonight for Venezuela. Going back to the homeland in front of their own rabid fans, they'll get a great reception. They put a good fight up tonight for long periods in the first half, and let's remember, Phil, that the undoing of them was down to the greatest football player arguably the game's ever seen.
Nice play by Hernández.
No question about the fact that it took something special to open up Venezuela, and they caught Messi in one of those magical nights as the flag goes up. But catching Messi like that in the form that he's been showing here, and everybody else for Argentina in full support of him. Just too much for Cesar Farias's men. His charges were wound up nicely, but just not enough in the locker room. They showed up better in the second half, and that's going to buy them as they take on Los Cafeteros back in Venezuela.
Ray, you talk about how much of Venezuela is still baseball country. That match is going to be played at the Cachamay. Guarantee you it will be jam-packed with soccer fans. To the number 11 of Maxi Rodriguez, over a decade ago, made his debut in a friendly against Japan and scored on his debut. Doing well with Newell's. Maybe just dreaming of a return to the World Cup. Gonzalez dispossessed, won it back with a foul. Does it look like the pressure weighs on his shoulders? Does he hide it well?
Wears pressure like a Cartier diamond made of sledgehammers. Nothing weighs him down.
Maxi trying to catch up. Goes through Chichiro. 90th minute all but done.
As long as he's getting a great support of his teammates, Messi will always rise to any occasion. But why they call it a team game, Phil. He's the inspiration, but he needs his teammates as much as they need him. And it's not just around him in the attacking prowess. Argentina's defense has been a questionable Achilles heel. Let's be honest. Venezuela's found their way through a couple of times, and poor Otero is the sad man that wasn't able to convert. But there's still question marks towards Argentina as being the World Cup favourite. There's a lot of great contenders. I think it'll be a very open, and Europe come in with big guns as well. The way Germany's playing and Italy looking reborn.
Right, as you talk about, almost like Barcelona for Messi, chipping it in, and Zabaleta there to clear. They've had a hard time. Only one of their last 4 games have ended in a shutout for the opposition. That was against a plummeting Uruguay. So even if it is at home, I think Sabella is going to be pleased with both halves of the scoreboard. The 3 on one side and the 0 on the other.
Well, there's a chance here to
no
put
Arango.
that in the garbage can, what you've just said. This is a great opportunity for them to get something. And
we've seen World Cup spots decided by the margin of a simple goal. Remember, that is a tiebreaker.
A difficult angle, this one, and no one Arango to steer this one home. Takes something good to beat Romero, Sampdoria man. Usually jungle cat quick on his line. Wall will be brave. Cesar Gonzalez, it looks, wants a pop at this.
Colombia missed out on the World Cup in 2002 by a single goal. Otero behind. Driven into the wall by Miku and grabbed by Romero. And that's going to do it. The final whistle from Victor Carrillo. Argentina comfortably with a 3-0 win.
Yep. Authoritative display by Sabella's men. In the jewel, in the crown, is Lionel Messi. Architect in chief, antagonist, and finally the executioner. Wonderful support all around him. Complete team performance by Argentina. Brave Venezuela early on in the first half. Better Venezuela in the second half. And carry the true fight back home for the Vino Tinto. But hats off to you-know-who.
His 100th game And Lionel Messi invites Buenos Aires and Argentina to enjoy it with him. Setting up the first to Higuaín in the 29th, creating and then scoring from the penalty in the 45th, and then a brilliant ball to Higuaín for the capper in the 59th. That will do it for this match, but more coming your way. The War of the Pacific as CONMEBOL qualifying continues on beIN Sport.